Alright everyone, welcome back to the channel. It is Matty here from Chill TCG. I am super excited to be covering this deck list. Everyone knows that I'm a huge Orbeetle fan, and recently there's been this one specific Orbeetle list that has been doing actually pretty well in online events recently. I'm just going to turn my mic up a little bit. There we go. Okay. This Orbeetle list is absolutely phenomenal. I think that I first saw this one seeing play at the last Chill Series tournament, Chill Series 27. It was played by our man AzulGG. He was a great player, of course, but he actually went very far in the tournament, made it to Phase 2 and all that. Just had an incredible run playing this new version of Orbeetle VMAX, which is focused around Cheryl and Mallow, Lana's, and just healing in general. Definitely more focused around the damage spread than actually attacking with the card, like with Orbeetle VMAX. But, we're going to go ahead, we're going to talk about the deck list just for a little bit, and then we're going to get into this, play some games. So hopefully you guys enjoy. Orbeetle VMAX, it was my favorite deck to come out of Vivid Voltage, my favorite card, and it's awesome to see it, seeing play and having at least some moderate success here in these online tournaments. Of course, if you guys don't know what Orbeetle VMAX does, it's got that ability Eerie Beam, so once during your turn, if it's in the active spot, you can put one damage counter on all of your opponent's Pokemon. This is phenomenal because, of course, if you have 3 Orbeetles on board or multiple Orbeetles on your board, you can switch between them and then put one damage counter on all your opponent's Pokemon that many times, right? As long as you can move a new Orbeetle to the active spot, it can use this ability once per turn. It also has the attack there, G-Max Wave, does 50 damage plus 50 more for each energy on your opponent's Pokemon. Most Pokemon take, 2 to 3 energy, so at the very least, you're doing 150, 200 damage for 2 energy, which actually isn't that bad at all. We have a retreat cost of 1, which is really nice for the U-Turn Board for retreat. We are weak to fire, which is a little bit tough for us, but we are running a lot of weakness card energies in our deck, and we have a 310 HP, which is not super high for VMAX Pokemon, but it's actually pretty good in general. So this is Orbeetle VMAX. The only Pokemon cards are running in the deck is 4 Orbeetle Vs, 4 Orbeetle VMAXs, and then of course we have 3 Snorlaxes, which we mainly use just to draw cards with the Gourmandize ability. So once during your turn, if this Pokemon is in the active spot, you can draw cards until you have 7 cards in your hand, and when you use this ability, your turn ends. So it's just a great way to end your turn on your first few turns there, setting up your board state. It's just really nice with Snorlax here. You get to draw cards until you have 7 in your hand, and then go into your next turn with 8 cards right after you draw. So very good card here. Gourmandize Snorlax is phenomenal. And now we have 4 Lillie's Pokédoll. This is just going to work as a free retreat pivot. It's just a Pokemon that if it's in the active spot, of course, we can just, use its, I don't even know. You just put it on the bottom of your deck. I don't know what you would call it. It's just it's not an ability because it's not a Pokemon, but you get to just, discard all cards attached to it, put them on the bottom of your deck, which means that you just get to move something up for free, pretty much. It's also something you can leave in the active spot and just kind of force them to attack because they don't take a prize card when they attack it. So it's just really good for a stalling option as well as a kind of a free pivot option. We get 4 quick balls to search out our deck for our Pokemon. So we don't have any evolution incenses, we don't have any Pokécoms, but we are running 3 Turffield Stadiums, which is the main way we're going to be able to search out our deck for the Orbeetle VMAXs, which are evolution grass type Pokemon. So 3 of those stadiums and 4 quick balls, 2 reset stamps as well in the deck, 4 tag calls because we are running the tag call engine in this deck. So a lot of our supporters are tag team supporters. They're all extremely important. So 4 tag calls is going to be the main way we find those supporters. 1 Tool Scrapper as well, just because why not? I don't know. There's plenty of reasons why Tool Scrapper could be good. It helps with math sometimes to knock off the big charms. Also, if there's like a stealthy hood that's on our opponent's Pokemon, we can discard that with Tool Scrapper and make sure that our pings, our damage counters actually get placed on those Pokemon, as well as just knocking off air balloons to stick people in the active spot. A lot of different options for Tool Scrapper. It's also going to be really good in the Spiritomb matchup if we ever do play against Spiritomb. Of course, yeah, so like I said, the Turffield Stadium, 2 Bird Keepers, you get to switch your Pokemon, draw 3 cards. So it's an absolutely great supporter in this deck, which we obviously love to switch around a whole lot because, with Orbeetle, we like to go into all of our Orbeetles every turn, spread those damage counters, and that's going to be a good way to do that for sure while drawing cards at the same time. Just 1 Boss's Orders in the deck. We shouldn't have to boss too much, but it should be a pretty good option at some point in the day, in the game to boss something up and then, actually knock it out with Orbeetle's attack to take some prize cards, because we got to take prize cards to win the game. Then we have 4 Cheryls. Now, 4 Cheryl is actually kind of insane. Now, this means that Cheryl allows us to kind of leave these Orbeetles in the active spot, especially ones that don't actually have energies onto them, because, we are going to allow him to just attack our Orbeetle or multiple of our Orbeetles, right, and put plenty of damage on them, but then we can just play the Cheryl, heal all damage from them, and they're kind of just like little punching bags while they're also spreading damage counters. So mainly, I think that the way we want to play this deck is get, 3 or 4 Orbeetles down on our board, right? And then set up 1 or 2 of them while leaving the ones without energy in the active spot, preferably until we want to get a KO, right? So Cheryl's going to be really good for that. Heal all damage from all of our evolution Pokemon, but if we do, we discard all energy from them. Should be fine as long as we're not attaching energies too generously. We have 4 Cynthia and Caitlins to get supporters back from the discard pile, which is really good in this deck, but also just to draw some extra cards. We've got 1 Grimsley, which is actually really cool. Grimsley, you move 3 damage counters from one of your opponent's Pokemon to another one of their Pokemon. It's just a really cool way to fix the math, and to kind of just put 3 extra damage counters on a Pokemon in one turn. It can really be the difference. It can be the way that we get multiple KOs in one turn. I really like Grimsley in the deck, kind of a niche supporter. 2 Guzma Hallows. This is how we're going to be searching our tool cards, our special energies, and our stadiums, which we do have plenty of. We have 3 Turffields, 2 U-Turn Boards, and all of our energies are actually special energies. So Guzma Hala going to be extremely good as an early game setup card. We have 3 Mallowanas as well. Now this is going to be a great way for us to heal all damage, or not all damage, 120 damage from our Orbeetle VMAX, while also switching our Pokemon, which is going to be phenomenal. So this card actually works perfectly well in Orbeetle VMAX. Very, very, very useful. We're going to be using it a whole lot. Not only, you don't actually have to heal 120 damage, you can just switch. So it's basically just a switch if you need it, but at the same time, if you want to discard 2 cards from your hand, you can heal 120 damage and also switch. So it's going to be a really good option in this deck for sure. So you can see a lot of healing in the deck, a lot of switching options. That's going to be pretty important. Now we are running 2 U-Turn Boards. This is going to give our Orbeetles free retreat. Retreat cost of the Pokemon this card is attached to is 1 less. Our Orbeetles have a retreat cost of 1, which means our retreat cost is free if we attach this to an Orbeetle, but if this card is discarded from play in any way, you put it back in your hand instead of being in the discard pile. So we're only running 2, but that's fine because when it gets knocked off our Pokemon, it goes right back in our hand. So we're never going to be getting rid of these U-turn boards once they're on the board. Now for the energies, we are running 12 energies. We're only running 4 grass energies, which are aromatic energies, which gets rid of all special conditions on the Pokemon that this card is attached to. We run 4 capture energies. This is just going to be a really good way for us to get those basic Pokemon down on our bench, whether it's our Orbeetle Vs or our Snorlaxes. Going to be really important to fill up our board with Orbeetles, and it's just a really good card in this deck for sure. And then we're running 4 weakness guard energies as well, just because why not? There's a lot of fire running around in the format, and we don't want to get one-shotted. That's a really bad thing for this deck, so you might as well just run a high count of weakness guard energies. Now you'll notice that these Orbeetles have an attack cost of 1 grass and 1 colorless. We're only running 4 grass energies, but we're running 8 colorless energies. The reason for this mainly is because a lot of times we're just going to be using the weakness guards as a failsafe, right? So we can leave an Orbeetle in the active spot without it getting one-hit KO'd by a lot of fire-type decks. But we're not actually going to be planning to attack with it very often, right? So we're going to be generous when we're attaching our aromatic energies for sure, because we can only attach 4, which means we're really at the most only going to be, or at the least, attacking 4 times per game, which is a little bit scary. So we really have to be generous with the way that we attach our energies. But the weakness guard energies are going to be really, really, really important. We can also discard some of these, colorless energies if we have multiple on, just to kind of give our Orbeetle the ability to retreat out manually. So that's kind of that's the deck, guys. It's going to be super fun. I really love Orbeetle. I can't wait to show you guys the deck. It's kind of a high skill level deck, to be honest with you. I know Azul played it phenomenally in the tournament. It can be really successful given it to a high level player. I'm not a super high level player, so we might not have as much success with the deck, but I'm actually really excited. Hopefully I can try it out, showcase the deck a little bit, and see what it's all about. So let's get into it, guys. I hope you guys enjoy. Let's play some games. Let's get right into it. All right, guys, let's do it. Let's play some Orbeetle VMAX. I'm super, super excited. I love when people make new versions of Orbeetle VMAX. I love when it's somewhat relevant in the format, just because I think Orbeetle is one of the coolest Pokemon of all time, and it's also just one of the coolest Pokemon cards of all time. I think it's super underrated. We're going to get into it. I did complete all my ladder rewards, so we're just playing for the fun of it, playing for the content. But there's only 6 hours left of this ladder, so it should be resetting soon, which is actually pretty exciting. I want to see what the new ladder rewards are. We're playing Justice Demigod, hopefully he's ready for the Orbeetle. Hopefully I'm ready for the Orbeetle. We'll see, though. I think with Orbeetle, we definitely want to go first, if possible. We lost the coin flip, so he's going to be making that decision for us. No big deal. We're just going to be, rocking out, doing whatever we can. Some matchups are definitely pretty tough for Orbeetle. I think that ADP is always a pretty tough matchup, no matter what. But I think that Orbeetle has the potential to win almost any matchup. So I think that, of course, we don't want to hit fire if we can help it. But a lot of times we should be in a pretty decent position to at least have a chance to win the game if I can, play properly at some point. It looks like our opponent's going to take a while there. He's going to choose to go first. We don't have any basic Pokemon. Sometimes, okay, all right. And the guy was scared. He was scared of the beetle. He didn't want to fight the beetle. Okay, let's get into another one. Just wasting that minute and a half on the intro. Let's get into a real game here. I want to play some more Orbeetle VMAX, guys. I'm pretty excited. So yeah, I mean, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. Have you guys seen this list before? I know that it was a little bit hype about a week ago when Azul did make that good run with the deck. I don't know if everyone has seen it yet, so that's why I wanted to make a video on it. It's just something interesting for sure. You know, I mean, at this point in the Battle Cells format, we've covered almost everything that's super relevant, and I don't really want to loop over the same decks if I don't have to. We're going to go ahead and lose the coin flip again to Thermal Master. With his cool Worlds sleeves and deck box, and we're gonna go ahead and just start with Orbeetle V in the active spot because, you know, that's all we got to do. That's all we have. It looks like we're going second though, which is actually not that bad. He's playing Zacian, so it could be Luke Metal. Luke Metal is gonna be real tough for us because of course the Metal Goggles does stop the damage counters from being placed. We see the Quick Ball come out here. Discards the Metal Energy, so it is Luke Metal. That's very tough for us. It's going to be very difficult. That Tool Scrapper is going to be extremely, extremely important. He has also the Lillie's Doll. He's going to get 2 on his board immediately, and he's just going to go ahead and Intrepid Sword with this Zacian. He's saying hello. He grabbed 2 Metal Energies right off the top deck. That is actually hilarious. So congrats, my dude, on you know, having that happen. I think that what we need to do here is draw some more cards. I think the best way to do that might be to burn this Mallow Lana. Because the math doesn't exactly work out with the Zacians. We just gotta hope he doesn't have Boss in his hand, right? But what I think I want to do is just burn the Mallow Lana to switch into the Doll. Or we're gonna Quick Ball, and I think I'm gonna Quick Ball away a Cheryl, which is never super preferred, but now I'm gonna go ahead and grab a Snorlax. I could have just held the Mallow Lana, but I kind of wanted to discard a couple more cards from my hand. So we're just gonna go ahead and do that. We're going to go into the Snorlax, and we're just going to Gourmandize and draw some cards. Hopefully he doesn't have Boss's Orders in his hand. That would not be great for us. We have the Guzma Hala, so we should be able to find the VMAX next turn. We missed out on attaching an energy last turn, though, which is a little bit, you know, a little bit tough for us. We definitely kind of want to stall it a bit. We definitely want to just wait until we find, of course, that, you know, that Tool Scrapper, because, of course, he is going to be looking to attach his Metal Goggles to his Pokemon, which I definitely understand. He's just going to go ahead and pass an Intrepid Sword again. Actually electing Knock to KO, which I find to be super interesting for sure. So we actually just draw into the Turffield, which is always nice. I'm going to test the Captured or this Orbeetle. We're going to put a second Orbeetle down. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab the Orbeetle VMAX. Now we don't actually have a great way of switching out of the Snorlax. We kind of have to just wait until he gets KO'd. But you know, shouldn't be that big of an issue. I could pop Guzma Hala now and discard those weakness card energies, but I think that it could be, I mean, I might actually want to do that, to be 100% honest with you, but at the same time, I don't know if it's really worth it, because if we Gourmandize, we're just drawing 1 card. I don't think those weakness cards are going to be super useful. Again, like I said, we have plenty of colorless in our deck, and the weak cards actually aren't that, you know, important to us, and I don't really want to discard the Cheryls, because they're going to be pretty important. So I'm actually going to Guzma Hala. We are going to just do this. I want to keep the Tag Call as well. We're just going to discard those weak guards, to be 100% honest with you. I'm going to grab just 1 of each of these. I could grab another Capture Energy, which actually might be a better idea, but we only have 4 of them left in the deck, so we kind of have to be a little bit careful about that. You know what? I actually might just grab the Capture Energy, just so that we can grab more Orbeetles and put them down on our board. I think that that's going to be pretty important. I'm going to attach this to this this Orbeetle here, and now we can Gourmandize and we can draw 2 cards off of that Gourmandize. So we do draw into the other Orbeetle VMAX, which is always pretty good. If he does elect to KO our Snorlax here, that's kind of fine for us. It's not a huge deal, really at all. And it looks like we're probably just going to be burning some Cheryls here for the next few turns. He does come out with that Metal Goggles, so that Zacian is not going to be affected, of course, by the what is it, the damage counters that we're going to be spreading with Orbeetle here. And it looks like he is probably just going to switch into the Luke Metal or the Zacian to go ahead and pop off with his GX attack, which is never great for us, realistically. He has the second Metal Goggles. Now, this is definitely one of the worst matchups for Orbeetle for sure. Pretty unfortunate that it was like the first game that we hit here. So we're kind of just like chilling around until we can actually find our, what is it, our Tool Scrapper, because until then we're not really going to be able to do much. So we're going to go ahead and grab this. We're going to grab a third Orbeetle. Just going to slap that boy down on the bench. And now I think what we can do is, if I Gourmandize, we just draw 1, but I kind of want to, we have another Turffield in hand, so I'm just going to go ahead and Gourmandize. Again, we're just kind of drawing cards until we find our Tool Scrapper. That's going to be the most important thing for us, I think. Next turn, if he doesn't play a Stadium, or if he doesn't play Chaotic Swell, rather, we should be able to, of course, you know, set up set up some damage counters, find our third Orbeetle VMAX, and kind of get rolling here. It's still a little bit not great for us. I mean, we can attack manually to these this Luke Metal and the Zacian. Never a great idea to do that for us personally. What I might do here is tag call for Cynthia Caitlin and discard the Snorlax. We have the Mallow Lana in hand now, actually, which is nice. So I'm actually just going to go ahead. We're going to put this second doll down. We're going to go ahead and grab our other Orbeetle VMAX. We got to be careful, too, because we might deck out. At some point, we got to be careful that we do not draw too many cards. But at the same time, we do need to find our Tool Scrapper, so that's something to definitely keep in mind as well. We have a Guzma Hala we could grab, which is probably going to be good. I don't think the math really works with Mallow Lana in this deck, in this matchup. We're going to discard the Snorlax here, and I think that we want to grab this Cheryl out of our discard pile. We're going to draw some cards here. No Tool Scrapper, no way to switch, but I think that what we should do is go ahead and attach the Aromatic Energy to this Orbeetle here, and we're going to pass. Again, we just want him to KO our Snorlax so we can go into Orbeetle, start actually attacking, and of course, he might put a third. If he puts a fourth energy on this Luke Metal, that's actually pretty preferable for us because we do more damage if that is the case. But again, we kind of have to play this matchup pretty smart here. We're running a little bit low on resources. It's kind of unfortunate. He did put the fourth energy on, by the way. It's a little bit unfortunate that we didn't, of course, find our what is it? Our Tool Scrapper yet. The Tool Scrapper is going to be extremely good in this matchup. We have another Cynthia Caitlin that we could possibly use here. I'm just going to go ahead and Eerie Beam. We're only doing damage to those dolls, but you know what? It's better than nothing, I suppose. And now I think what we should do is, I don't know if I really want to attach this energy yet. That's another thing. So I'm actually just going to Cynthia Caitlin again, although we don't really have anything that we want to grab out of the discard pile. What I could do is get damage off on the Zacian this turn, but I think that KOing this Luke Metal is still probably just going to be our best bet. I can Turffield, though, just grab our last Orbeetle V, or VMAX, rather. And now I think, I don't know, do I want to Cynthia Caitlin and draw more cards? I mean, I could. Yeah, we're actually just going to do it. I mean, we're kind of wasting one, but we have 4 in our deck anyway, so I'm not too worried. We can just grab a Mallow Lana. It's just another switching option. And we have another doll, which is actually pretty good, and we have an Aromatic as well. But we're just going to go ahead and we're going to retreat into this Orbeetle. We're going to Eerie Beam here. Only putting damage on those dolls, which is not great, but at least at some point we might be able to just KO them. And we're going to go ahead and put this doll down. And I'm actually just going to go ahead and attack with this Orbeetle VMAX. We do 190, so he could Mallow Lana this turn. That's obviously a really real possibility for him to do, which is a big reason why this matchup is so bad for us, just because Mallow Lana really does hurt us a lot. Kind of hurts our progress a whole lot. He's going to Poké Gear here, so I assume he's probably going to just, if he doesn't have the Mallow Lana in hand, he actually grabs the Research, so I don't know if he's going to be able to Mallow Lana this turn. He might just switch into the Zacian and go ahead and get a nice little attack off. There's the Mallow Lana, so he just had it. Again, really bad for us. You know, there's just not much that we can really do. It's tough. You know, it is. It's pretty tough. But you know what? It is what it is. There's just only so much that we can really do here. I think we did 190 last turn to that Luke Metal. So even if we boss this thing up, I think we actually KO it, which could be pretty important. Not to lie, not to be 100% honest with you. But what we can do is just Eerie Beam here. So we are going to be KOing those dolls, which is at least something. We're not taking any prize cards, but at least it's not terrible for us. And I don't want to Cheryl just yet. So I think what we need to do is boss up this Luke Metal and KO it. But I don't know if I want to manually retreat or burn Mallow Lana. We could just attack the Zacian as well, but I think that getting some prize cards here on this Luke Metal is going to be our best option. So I think what I might do here is Mallow Lana, and we're actually just going to go ahead and heal. So I'm going to discard this Turffield Stadium, and we're probably going to discard this other doll here. Might not have been the best option, but now we're going to go into this Orbeetle. Oh, but now we can't... oh, he actually retreated. Okay. All right, well, he forfeited. That was actually a misplay on my part because we weren't able to boss that turn. But we would have been able to just get some damage off on the Zacian here, and he didn't have boss in hand. So it looks like he was just not feeling it. He wasn't feeling the beetle. It happens like that sometimes. 2 interesting games. One guy just scooped immediately, but one guy just was not about the Orbeetle at all. People are afraid. People are afraid of the Orbeetle. But that's a terrible matchup for us, to be 100% honest with you. And also, we just whiffed Tool Scrapper like that whole game. It could have been prized. I probably should have checked, but you know what? It is what it is, guys. We're going to be playing a fire deck here, it looks like. Fausto Lothbrok. I don't, maybe that's how you pronounce it. I literally have no idea. It looks like he's playing a fire deck, though, so not too great for us. If he's running Fan of Waves, definitely going to be bad for us. But again, It's a matchup that we should be able to at least, have a chance with our 4 weakness card energies. So we'll see. He's going to take his time choosing the coin flip. As always, we actually won this time, and we are going to choose to go first. Kind of gives us another opportunity. We have the Guzma Hala in hand, which is nice. We don't really have a way to draw into... well, yeah, I mean, the hand isn't actually that bad. It's just not, like, super good. And the awkward thing here is, like, we have to balance sort of our use of Cheryl without discarding our weak guard energies. And we kind of want to put as many weak guards on our Orbeetles as possible, which is going to be tough, too, because we only have 4. So at the most, we probably don't want to bench, like... we got to be careful with our resources, right? So maybe we just want to stick to benching 2 Orbeetle VMAXs, although we could probably bench 1 and then discard just one at one point. So we got to kind of be careful with that. But you know what? It is what it is, right? It is what it is. We have no way of grabbing our Snorlax yet either, so that's something to keep in mind. We're going first, so we can't Guzma Hala. Maybe it's better to go second with this deck. I'm actually not 100% sure. This guy's taking his sweet time, though. Hopefully he would just go a little bit faster. We are playing a video. He's going to just go ahead and scoop. So I don't know what's going on with the ladder today, guys. It's just, I don't know. People are just, literally, people are scared of the beetle. They don't want to play it. They know what we're playing. They know what they're getting in for, and they're not ready for it. So technically a 3-game win streak with Orbeetle, with our opponents scooping all 3 games. Now we're playing Glossum. Glossum? No idea either. Again, I don't know if going first... I feel like going first is definitely better with Orbeetle, right? Because you get that other... you get the opportunity to attach turn 1, which is definitely preferable, I think, but we'll see. This guy's taking a little bit less time, at least. He's moving a little bit quicker. No basic Pokemon in hand. Again, the Lillie's Pokédoll don't count because they're trainer cards. So we're going to go ahead and we're just going to mulligan real quick. Let's see what we draw into here. We draw into an Orbeetle V and a couple dolls, which is nice. Nothing really to draw cards, though we do have a capture there, so what we could do is just attach, grab Snorlax, and then just manually retreat into it, and kind of draw some extra cards. That's probably going to be our best option. We'll see what we draw into, though. We could have another option. We are going second, which isn't great, and we have the Mimikyu here, so that's actually not going to matter at all in the matchup. It doesn't really do anything because it only works with GX Pokemon. But if it did work for V and VMAX Pokemon, that would be very bad for us. I don't know what we're playing. It could be, like, Mewtwo? Could be Dragapult. Could be Urshifu. I'm not sure exactly what else runs Mimikyu. I think it's either like Dragapult or Urshifu. But we'll see. Maybe it's both. Maybe it's Urshipult. Which actually isn't that bad for us because in both of those matchups, we actually do pretty well because Mallow Lana does help a whole lot. And they don't typically do like big one-hit KO stuff, right? So that's going to be good for us. We see the level ball come out, so I don't actually know what we're playing against. He could be running the Octillery engine, which would maybe explain why he's running the level ball. I don't know exactly. All of our opponents seem to be taking a very long time, though, this game. Oh, yeah, so he's running the Minccino version, yeah. So that makes sense to run the level ball then. The Minccino draw engine here for probably Urshifu or Dragapult combo is going to be pretty good. So we do see the Urshifu again. We're not too worried, to be 100% honest, with this matchup. We are running 3 copies of Mallow Lana, 4 copies of Cynthia and Caitlyn, and 4 Cheryl. So as long as we're able to conserve our resources and draw pretty well into those cards, then we're going to be in a pretty decent position, I think. We do have the Bird Keeper, so I think what we should do is attach the capture here. Grab the Snorlax. We're going to go ahead and put the dolls down. We got to be careful because he can just KO these with his second attack, with the dolls. But you know what? It's not that big of a deal, realistically. We're going to go ahead and just Bird Keeper into the Snorlax. We are drawing some extra cards. Not super ideal, but we are going to just be able to Gourmandize for 1. We have the Tag Call, so we should be able to find our Orbeetle VMAX. This turn, we have the Mallow Lana as well, so we're not in a terrible position, right? Realistically, it's just going to be a bit tricky because after he uses his second attack with the Gmax Rapid Flow, he does discard the energy, so we're only doing 50 damage when that's the case. It looks like he's just going to go ahead and evolve right into it, Bird Keeper in, draw some cards here. Definitely looking to find that double fighting energy, and he does as well. So he's going to be able to get some damage off, KOing the Snorlax as well as probably getting damage off on our Orbeetle right now. Not super great at all. So it looks like we're probably... Yeah, it's tricky, right? I mean, we could evolve and he's not KOing us. But at that point, we're in a kind of a tough position. So I think what we should do is just go ahead and do this. We have the U-Turn board, so we're going to actually just attach that, I think. And now, we could Guzma Hala this turn. But the problem is, like, do we think that he'll have like a double switch out and get, you know, some more damage off on our Orbeetle? That's something to keep in mind here. That is something to keep in mind, right? The thing is, I don't think attacking here is that great. So what we can do is tag call for Guzma Hala. We'll find the VMAX. We can attach another capture and just start spreading some damage counters off there. It's just a little bit tricky because, well, yeah, that might be the best option, right? I think we're just going to actually do that, to be 100% fair. And we're going to grab a second Mallow Lana, so we might just be Mallow Lanaing twice in the next few turns. Shouldn't be that bad for us, realistically. We're going to go ahead and just, we're going to discard, I think, a weak guard and maybe Boss. I don't know if Boss is going to be super good in this matchup. And we're going to do it. We have Cynthia Caitlyn's anyway. We're going to grab the Turffield. I think that what we want to grab is Aromatic and then a U-Turn Board as well. Because what we're going to do probably is we're going to grab the VMAX right off the bat just so we can start placing some damage counters down. We're going to evolve this Orbeetle VMAX. And now I think that this is going to be really good because he does have the Chinchino Minchino thing going on. And actually what I kind of want to do is attach the capture to find another Pokemon, right? Because getting another Orbeetle V down this turn would be really good, and I don't think attacking is really that necessary. It's just kind of silly, so I guess we're just going to attach it to him. Kind of wasting a colorless energy here. But now I think what we want to do is probably just... Well, we kind of want to minimize the chances of him actually just getting damage off on this thing. I mean, it's pretty unlikely, but it's not super unlikely, right? So I'm actually just going to go into the doll, because no matter what, he shouldn't be able to G-Max Rapid Flow us. And we want to be able to just go into our Orbeetle VMAX Mallow Lana and just kind of get our damage done, right? It was okay that he hit us for 120 because, again, it's not a big deal. We're going to be able to just heal from him. But we're going to see here. He does find the air balloon, so that's going to be one half of his double pivot. He goes into the Minchino. I assume he might just be have a switch card in hand or like an escape rope or something. And he's going to double switch out. Pretty likely also that he has an energy as well. I don't think Urshifu runs a lot of healing cards, so we should be able to just slowly whittle down all his Pokemon. It could be a long game. These Orbeetle games typically seem to go pretty long here. And there's the Bird Keeper, so he's running Bird Keeper in his Urshifu list. He's going to draw 3 more cards here. Goes up to a really big hand. But actually not that bad for us. We don't necessarily have a way to draw cards. We're kind of just drawing off the top deck here. But as long as he doesn't play down a Stadium, I think that we're in a pretty decent position because we can find the other Orbeetle VMAX. We can Mallow Lana, heal all the damage from our Orbeetle VMAX, and we can just start placing some damage counters all around. And if he attaches here, I think that it's probably worth ending our turn with an attack, which is going to be pretty good for us. But we'll see. We'll see what he chooses to do. It's definitely like an interesting deck. This isn't a deck that I really would suggest you play on the ladder to like grind out ladder rewards because your games typically will take a little while. Orbeetle isn't a super like fast-paced, high-attacking Pokemon, so it might take a little while to win the games, but it does actually do really well in the long run, right? That's what the deck is kind of built for. We see the Mewtwo come out, so he might be putting that Bird Keeper back on the top of the deck, which is pretty interesting in my opinion. I don't know if he found the Cinchino or the Cinchino or a way to do it. He puts down the Giratina actually, like preemptively, which I find to be interesting, so he might just be discarding his hand here, yeah, with the Dedenne. We see that he's running Snorlax as well, so this is a very interesting list for sure. And he actually stamps us to 6, which is pretty bad for us, but we should, yeah, be able to find a Mallow Lana pretty easily there. And this hand might be even better than it was before, to be 100% honest with you. We even have the Cynthia Caitlyn, so, you know, not a bad situation. As long as he doesn't play a Stadium, we should be in a pretty decent position here. I think that... you know, we're safe from kind of getting hit again, so we're going to be able to just, of course, heal our damage with Mallow Lana, get some more damage counters off. Yeah, and he's just out of there. Man, this is tough. This is real tough. I don't know how to find a full game here on the ladder. Everyone just seems to be wanting to scoop up to us, man. It's tough. Like, I don't know what to do about it. We're going to play another one. We're already 20 minutes into these gameplay things, but into this gameplay part of the video. But this will be the last game, regardless of if our opponent scoops or not. They've scooped 4 games in a row. Maybe they kind of just know what Orbeetle is about these days, and they're just not willing to go the distance with Orbeetle. So we're just gonna go ahead and rock out here on a 4-game win streak with Orbeetle without actually taking almost any prize cards, which is fun. So, you know, do we want to go first? Yeah, we want to go first this game. But yeah, I apologize, guys. Sometimes getting games on the ladder is just really difficult, and there's just not a whole lot that we can really do. We have nothing to really draw more cards in our hand. Which is funny, but we're just going to go ahead and rock out with this. We do have the U-Turn board at least, so we can free retreat out. We'll see what we top deck. It's the Snorlax, which is correct. But we're playing ADP, so this is going to be a pretty difficult matchup for us. We're going to bench the Snorlax. We're going to attach the air balloon here. And we're going to retreat and draw some cards. We're going to draw 5 cards with Gourmandize, which is really, really good. And we would like a way to... Okay. So not super good of a hand. It would be really nice to evolve these Orbeetle Vs as quickly as possible. It's really scary having Orbeetle Vs down on the board with ADP running around because it can one-shot us for 3 prize cards. So we really want to make sure that it's not able to do that here. He discards 2 Bronzong, so he's playing the Bronzong engine, Crobat, Research, Escape Rope, and a Metal Energy, which is pretty interesting. He just attaches and passes. What do we grab here? Okay, so we do have the Turffield right off the bat. We're going to attach the Orbeetle without the energy. We're going to grab this VMAX here. And I think that our best play is to just going to be evolving this guy. We don't have anything in our discard pile, but we could Cynthia Caitlyn just to draw some extra cards here. I'm going to attach this to him. But maybe it's best to just burn the boss here and just draw some more cards with the Cynthia Caitlyn. Or draw some more cards with the Gourmandize. He's probably playing Chaotic Swell, so that's something to keep in mind as well. So I'm actually just going to do that. We're just going to burn that boss. Might not be the best decision, but we're drawing 3 more cards with Gourmandize, so hopefully we draw into like a VMAX. We draw into another Turffield, Tag Call, Guzma, Hala, so not terrible cards to draw into, realistically. But if he goes ahead and GXs here, we definitely want to be able to find that second Orbeetle VMAX. So he's actually going to Marnie us. It is what it is. That Grimsley might come in clutch actually in this matchup, but we definitely want to start placing damage counters on pretty soon here. So maybe we draw into one of those Mallow or one of those Bird Keepers. We don't yet. He's actually going to calm here away that ADP, so he's probably going to grab a Zacian here to end his turn on Intrepid. He actually grabs the Bronzor, so he might just have like another way to grab, or another Dedenne or something in his hand. He's got a Quick Ball, yep, so it looks like he's either just grabbing another Dedenne. He's already down 1 Dedenne, 1 Crobat. He's actually just grabbing Zacian, so it looks like he's going to go ahead and just end his turn on Intrepid Sword, which is good for us. This means that we can put down this third Orbeetle V safely without really worrying too much about it, which is actually pretty good, to be 100% honest with you. So I'm actually just going to do that. We're going to put down that other Orbeetle V. I'm going to grab this this VMAX here. We're going to attach it to this guy. And now I think what I want to do is just put Aromatic on him. We could Cynthia Caitlyn to try to get some, to draw into a way to switch out, but it's not really likely unless we draw into the Bird Keeper. So we gotta have to keep that in mind here. We're just gonna Gourmandize, draw another 4 cards here. No way of switching just yet. A bit unfortunate, but perhaps we could, find that soon. That's the only problem with this deck is like Snorlax here is just kind of chilling in the active. It's our main draw engine, the way we draw cards here. That Mew's not going to do anything for him. I don't know if he knows that. He's just going to discard it. Yeah, so smart play on his part. Plays down his second to Dedenne, but plenty of things here that we can spread damage counters to. He actually puts the Aurora down to ADP, which is funny to see Aurora in ADP, and he's actually going to saucer 2 onto the Zacian as well. We have 1 Cheryl in our hand, which is important. He's actually going to escape rope us. And I think what we're going to do is just go into this Orbeetle V. Because the way that Cheryl works is that we only heal damage from the Pokemon that have damage counters onto them. He's actually just going to boss us now back into this Snorlax. Oh, man. Oh, man. Oh, man. Please let us top deck something that we can draw cards with. Unfortunately, no. It's just not working like that for us, unfortunately. I'm going to go ahead and Cynthia Caitlyn. We're just going to burn this capture here. We're going to grab the boss back from the discard pile. We're going to draw some extra cards here. Nothing really. I mean, we could Tag Call, but we're not going to be able to actually use any of that yet. So I think what we're going to do is just go ahead. I guess we shuffle the deck, I suppose. Look at this. We got 2 Mallow, 2 Bird Keepers. So that's really what we need to switch out here. If he KOs this Snorlax, it's actually not that bad for us. But all things considered, I think what we want to do is attach to this Orbeetle. And we're going to pass. Because what we can do next turn is we can put some damage counters on, get an attack off. And then once he attacks one of our Orbeetle VMAXs here, we're going to be able to Cheryl and heal and discard the energies, but heal the one that has damage counters onto it. He's going to research, so he's going to go down to 19 cards in his deck. He does get the 3rd energy on the Zacian, which is interesting with the Saucer here. We have another Saucer coming out, so he's going to be able to just move that with Bronzong to the ADP, get a KO here on the Snorlax, take 2 prize cards. And there goes the Turffield Stadium, which is fine for us. We didn't necessarily need it. And if he actually just retreats into this ADP, that's probably fine for him. Yeah, or into the Zacian. Yeah, so he's going to go ahead and do that. No boss's orders coming from him yet. He's going to take 2 prize cards with this Zacian here, so not a big deal because, of course, he just needs to one-shot one of our Orbeetles. But, we're going to rock out with everything that's on our board right now. We're going to be pretty confident in our ability to just kind of survive that, right? So we're going to go ahead. we'll just play this because why not? So now we can just start placing some damage counters on. We're going to be able to attack the Zacian, which is really, really good for us. And I kind of want to put this capture on this dude. Is that the smart decision? I just don't know. I'm trying to think. We could boss this thing up and KO it, but I think getting damage off on the Zacian is going to be the most important thing. Although attacking this could be really good. It discards a couple metal energies as well as getting rid of his option to switch around energies. Might be actually our best option. That might be our best option. But back to this idea. So if we attach to this guy, if he attaches this, we heal a lot of damage from this. We are only discarding the energies from this guy, and we're setting both of these guys up potentially to... we're going to put this doll down. To attack. But I don't know if that's actually the smart decision, because we already have this guy with an energy onto it. So I think that's actually what we're going to do. I think we're going to retreat into this dude. We're going to Eerie Beam. Actually, getting damage off on the Zacian might just be the better idea, I think. We're hitting him for 170. He doesn't have any healing options. That might be the best decision. Because I think what we want to do here is Guzma Hala. Or just grab Guzma Hala. Actually, no. I mean, we can grab Guzma Hala, but I think we do actually just want to KO that Bronzor. Do we? No, I think we definitely want to get damage off on the Zacian. I'm just trying to think. Interesting, isn't it? Definitely interesting. Yeah, we're just going to attack the Zacian. Might not be the best play. He's got only 30 HP left, so we should potentially be able to KO this thing just with damage counters next turn and then get some damage off on something else. He's going to escape rope us, which is fine, because I think that he's just going to let us go into the doll. He's going to go in ADP, so now he's going to attack with the ADP. Not bad for us, actually, unless he has boss's orders in hand, which he definitely could. He's going to calm, so potentially grabbing that Eldegoss. But we do have Cheryl, like I said, so not the end of the world for us. Yeah, he goes ahead and grabs the Bronze. Oh, he grabs the Bronzong, so I don't know if he's actually playing Eldegoss in his deck. He needs the Bronzong to move the energies over to the ADP here, so even if he just attacks with it this turn, let's see if he has the boss, actually. He's going to move the energies off the Zacian and spread them throughout his board, which I think is probably the best play for him. Yeah, so he actually has the boss, which is a bit unfortunate for us. We should have Guzma Hala last turn, now that I think about it. He actually just attacks the one without energy, which is, like, very interesting. I'm not sure why he did that, to be 100% honest with you. At all. I don't know why he did that at all. We're going to have to Cheryl this thing, though. We have to Cheryl this thing just because even if we Mallow Lana... well, actually, hold on. So if we Mallow Lana... his ADP's not doing enough to KO, right? And then that would give us the opportunity to KO the Zacian with damage counters, which puts him in a pretty awkward position, but then he can just bench his Zacian and KO that way. So I think what we need to do is right off the bat, we're going to Eerie Beam. We do have to pop Cheryl this turn. But what we can do, though, is just attach a capture to this dude so that we can retreat. And we're going to retreat into this Orbeetle. And now we can pop the Cheryl, heal all damage from this guy, not any of the other ones. We're not discarding any energies because that's how the card works. And we're going to just Eerie Beam again. This Zacian still only has one damage counter onto it, but we're going to be attacking this ADP for 200 damage, which is good because this thing is also in close range. We could also draw into a Grimsley, which would be really nice because that actually would help us out a lot. But we'll see what he ends up doing here. I don't know what his best option is going to be. And we potentially could take a lot of prize cards next turn. The only problem with that is that we don't really have a clear way to Cheryl next turn again. So it might have been good. Yeah, so that's the only problem is that we only had one Cheryl in hand, so we just got to hope that he doesn't have like a fourth boss or something here. He just attacks into the Orbeetle, so maybe Mallow Lana is going to be our best decision here. We KO the Zacian and kind of force him to not have another Zacian or not bench another Zacian. So I think that that's actually going to be our best decision here. Right off the gate, we're going to Eerie Beam, take some prize cards. So if we do draw into the Cheryl, that's actually going to be pretty ideal for us. So let's see what we take off these prize cards. It's an Aromatic, which is good, and it's a Cynthia Caitlyn, which is not bad for us, really. But we're going to Tag Call here. I think that we should grab the Mallow Lana. And I'm actually just going to grab a second Mallow Lana as well. And now I think what we want to do is... Yeah. Okay, so we're going to want to attach to this dude. And we are going to Mallow Lana here. And we're going to discard the Orbeetle and the Reset Stamp. Because preferably he doesn't take any more prize cards for the rest of the game. So now we're just hoping that he doesn't bench a Zacian and have a fourth boss, right? That's kind of like our only win con at this point. We're going to Eerie Beam yet again, and we're going to take 3 prize cards on this this ADP. Now, of course, if he does find Zacian and find boss, he can just move the energies to it and boss up our Orbeetle and KO it. But if he does that, you know, that's it. We didn't really have any better option. We didn't have another Cheryl in our hand. We still don't, so we still should have like 3 Cheryls left in our deck, which is a bit unfortunate here. And I think, yeah, so maybe Mallow Lana wasn't the best decision there. Maybe we just attach Manual Retreat and then Cynthia Caitlyn for the other Cheryl here. He's actually going to Aurora and discard the... okay, yeah, so he just has Research. So we're safe this turn, actually, then. And I think that no matter what, we win this game because we have boss in hand. The fact that he played Research here means that he's not going to be able to, yeah, boss us up and KO our Orbeetle. So that's one game at least. At least the last game, guys, was something that was a little bit more fleshed out and kind of give you guys an opportunity to see what the deck can do. I think it's actually a really good list. Personally, I think it's pretty impressive. I think that Orbeetle is a phenomenal deck right now. And it's just kind of a play style that people aren't really ready to play against, and they're not really prepping for. And I think that the healing, as well as the damage counters and everything like that, the math really works out. Kind of a hard deck to play. I probably didn't play it perfectly. I apologize. But Orbeetle is super, super cool, guys. I highly suggest that you guys go check out this deck. The deck list, the export will be down in the description below if you guys are wanting to import this into PTCGO and try it yourself. I highly suggest it. It's really, really fun. A big shout out to Azul for playing this in Chill Series. He had a fantastic run. He's a great player. I was really happy to just, you know, see Orbeetle see some play. And when other high-level players choose to play Orbeetle, it means a lot to me because it's one of my favorite decks. So big shout out to him. Thank you everybody for watching. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Before we go, don't forget to register for Chill Series number 28, actually, which is coming this Wednesday. It's a super special Chill Series event. It's a Yellhorn special. We are giving 1 gold quick ball to first place, as well as getting 250 Battle Cells packs for the remainder of the prize pool. It's going to be an absolutely insane tournament. Link to register for it will be down in the description below. I highly recommend that you guys go check it out. It's a phenomenal tournament, and it's going to be a lot of fun for me. Me and Zach are going to be casting it live. Day 2, we're going to be casting it live on Zach's channel. I really can't wait. It means a lot to me to have him involved and have the whole community involved in this, so I'm really excited. I'm going to get out of here. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. Register for Chill Series 28. Use the code Chill TCG. Yeah, use code Chill TCG for 5% off your entire order. I forgot what the code was. At cardcavern.com. Link for that will be down in the description below. All right, I'm going to get out of here, guys. Thanks for watching. I've been Matty from Chill TCG. I don't know how to end videos, so I just talk a lot. All right. Goodbye.